It is official. Samurai Jack has joined Multiverses. As a crossover fighting game, this was pretty much inevitable, since Samurai Jack rightfully deserves to be a part of this game. But I will have to remind you that this isn't the first time that Samurai Jack has joined a crossover platform fighter. And you might be thinking, why did I say that? Well, ever heard of Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion? For most people who never even heard about this, Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion is a failed game that wanted to capture the success of Super Smash Bros. And even though I did play this game, it did not age well, since years after or years before, it was just bad. It's just not good at all. So why am I bringing this up? Well, it's because that the thing is, I want to create a video where I want to see which characters from Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion or any Cartoon Network character, either characters that are in the game or not in the game, I want to mention that they should join multiverses. So on today's video, I'm giving you every character that scratch that. I'm gonna tell you the Cartoon Network characters that I want to see join multiverses. And it's either the characters who joined Punch Time Explosion or ones that didn't make it in. I'm looking at the ones who didn't join during the time frame and the ones who joined after this game got released. So, with all that said, let us begin. First up,
Ben Tennyson.
This is the most popular pick. Out of all the characters from Cartoon Network, most people want Ben Tennyson join multiverses. And I can see the reason why. I mean, he can transform into any alien with his Omnirisk, if I'm correct. I think I am. Anyways, the Omnirisk allows Ben to transform any alien that he desires. However, he can only transform into 10 aliens. Only 10. Not 7, 11, or not even a 20, just 10. So I think you can make a moveset out of this, but it's really hard to implement every alien from the Ben 10 franchise. Well, my advice: have a select few. Have a select few of characters that Ben transform into and make them the characters. But which Ben should be playable? Should it be the young Ben from the 2005 original, the Ultimate Alien or the Alien Force version that you see right here, the Omniverse version that came around somewhere around the 2012s, I think, and then you have the reboot. I actually forgot my last script, but yeah, if I'm going to be honest, I would have preferred this if this came out in 2005, but no, we didn't get this in 2005. I would have preferred this, but I really don't. So no, I don't think this version of Ben should ever join multiverses because it does spit in the face of the original fans. Seriously. I would have preferred this over the comic book style because I think it looks way more cartoonier, but no, this came in way late, and the first one has already established itself, so no, I don't see myself liking this or seeing this version of Ben joining into multiverses. So yeah, I really do think that Ben 10 should really join multiverses. It never happened 2 years ago, but let me tell you, if Jack can join, so can him. Alright, so, but I already said, wait a minute, which version do I think who should join? Well, it's the best version. I would say original or the Ultimate Alien and Omnitress if I ever said that, but ultimately, just combine all styles. just use the Omnitrix version with the Omnitrix version with the one version you see combine it with Ultimate Alien Force. That's what I think would be the best version. Again, I would like to see him. So, who's next?
Chowder.
Now, keep in mind, Chowder has been teamed up with his pet dust cloud thingy named Kimchi, and the announcers reference him as Chowder and Kimchi to understand the point that Kimchi will always be with Chowder 100% of the time. And considering that Chowder is a chef apprentice, when you watch a show, there is a lot of moves that Chowder can do in his own show. Like, what would his moveset would be? Well, what if he just used a lot of equipments, like something that a chef would use, like a rolling pin as his side special, or using a whisker as a down aerial, or maybe a spatula for his up aerial. Chowder can use a lot of utensils for his attacks. It doesn't have to be using his tongues or physical attacks. Get creative. Have some fun with it. But do I want him? Well, duh. I mean, look at that smile. Look at it. Who could say no to that smile? So, yes, I want Chowder. He is awesome, but his chances of coming in seems very unlikely, but I still have hope.
Heroes, the Powerpuff Girls.
Yes, I know there are separate characters, but I'm gonna group them into one. The Powerpuff Girls, well, we already saw the multiverses video of them being as Easter eggs from the Joker video. And I really do want them to join. Ever since multiverses came back, these girls were at the top of our minds. I would say my mind, but everyone has the top of their mind, so I don't really mind. I really do hope they do join in one point or another, because I do think they deserve it way more out of any other characters. Well, other than some others, but the point is, I really do want them. But how would they fight? Simple. Blossom will be the all-arounder, both speed and power. Bubbles will have the most speed and power for some odd reason from one episode of the Powerpuff Girls, but for the sake of this, she's only going to be focusing on speed, and Buttercup will be going on the power section. Like, she has the power. Do I think they would work? Absolutely. Yes, they can be separate fighters, but they can work together as a team. It's either, do they work as separate fighters or do they work as a team? We're just going to go with a team so that way teams can be more convenient. Yeah. There are some other trio, but we'll get them when we get them.
Flapjack.
Now, there are some shows that I haven't really watched a lot of, and some of them I really do like most episodes, but haven't really watched the entire series. Flapjack is one of them. But do I think he can work as a fighter? Well, yeah. Yes, he does. I think he can. Will he ever join? Again, not likely. But I personally do think that if there ever will be an obscure show that gets represented in a platform fighting game, this show, Flapjack, would be it. Like, I can't even tell you this. I mean, I really do like the style. Next to Chowder, Flapjack really is like that show. However, even though he's not as funny as Chowder, or I like to break the fourth wall like Chowder, I would say that it really just shows how much that it had carved its own identity with a lot of scary and weird moments that is more reminiscent of Ren and Stimpy. But, then again, I'd like to see him join. Again, not likely, but I'd like to see him join. Another character who is friends with Flapjack that is much more unlikely than him is
Captain Knuckles.
Next to Flapjack, Captain Knuckles really is that weird pick, if you know what I mean. Like, he's a character that... Can you believe that Captain Knuckles joined this game? Yeah! like Banana Guard, he'll be such a weird pick that nobody actually ever sees him coming. I mean, do I think he can work? Well, he works, so unless we have a more fleshed out moveset, then yeah, I think he can work. But so far, I think if Cartoon Network characters ever join, then I think he'll be a far out there choice. Like, seriously, like far out there. It's not a whole lot, but I don't mind him joining, but I really do think that he's very unlikely. It's a far shot, but anything is possible. Again, look at Banana Guard.
The kids next door!
Well, technically, number one joined out of all the team members, but for sake of this, I'm going to be talking about all 5 of them. And if I'm going to be honest, I might be a little biased in this one, but a little history about me. I used to watch the show as a kid. And as a kid, it was one of the best shows I've ever watched. And as an adult, I can see that these children are wrong on most parts, but when the show gets good, it gets good. So yeah, I like it. So for K&D themselves, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. The leader, the engineer, the bubbly one, the tough guy, and the chill gal. Do I think all of them will join? Well, only number 1 will just join, mostly because, well, he is the leader. But how each others will work? I'd say number 2, since he mostly rides on a vehicle, is most like the engineer and rides a lot of vehicles from the show. Well, he does drive a plane, but that's besides the point. Did I say drive? I meant fly. Anyways, he'll be more like Bowser Jr. Be on a vehicle 24/7. Number 3, number 4, and number 5 will all be all his physical attacks. Number 1 will just use his jet boosters for most of his attacks. Out of all the members, number 1 is by far the most likely of the joint. Though his chances of coming in might be slim, and I'm going to be honest, most of the fighters that I think from Cartoon Network would most likely be slim, just how obscure they are. But I would see number 1 as the character in the gray area. There's a chance, but it may not happen, but it may will. But for right now, all I can say is that I really do hope that codename Kid Next Door gets some representation in multiverses.
Mac and Blue.
Okay, so like K&D, I really do like this show as a kid. Well, actually, I think I do like this show when time moves on. As in, when I was a kid, I didn't get this show, but when I started to move on in life, I thought, oh yeah, this is really good. A lot of people tend to prefer Blue over Mac with him, and it's pretty understandable. I mean, look at Blue. Look at him. He's so simple that he's pretty much iconic. But do I think Blue should team up with Mac or not? That really depends on your view. In my opinion, I really do think that both Mac and Blue should be a duo because they actually work better in their own favor. But hey, I really do like them to fight together instead of just Blue as its own. Excuse me. I mean, yeah, he can work, but I know both of them are not really fighters, but look at Villager from Animal Crossing. He doesn't fight in his own games, yet the creator of Super Smash Bros. Made him a fighter. So really, anything is possible. Do I want him to join? Yes. And I really do think that they might bring some mixes from the table, if you know what I mean. I would like to have them.
Dexter.
Okay, like the Powerpuff Girls, Dexter is literally one of the more likely Cartoon Network characters that would ever join multiverses. I mean, seriously, look at this kid. He has potential to join. well, potential to have its own moveset. His own science equipment for his battles and skills and whatnot. I mean, seriously, he really do deserve to join. Like, next to the Powerpuff Girls, Dexter really should join. I know I'm repeating myself, but still though. If you watch one of the trailers for Multiverses that shows a lot of Easter eggs, you'll see Dexter's glasses and gloves, indicating that he will come very soon. But for right now, all I can say is that he will. I hope he actually does come, because he really does fill in the void of the Cartoon Network franchise. Though, how would he fight? He will just use. I did mention he's using his old silent equipment, but maybe he can use some physical attacks as well. That's a thought. Oh, and since Dexter is one of the characters, Dexter has another character that joined him with Cartoon Network Punch on Explosion. Which is it? It's not DT. Rather, in fact,
Monkey.
They chose Monkey from Dial M from Monkey. Out of all the characters in Dexter Laboratory, they chose him as a second rep. Why? Wouldn't it be more better if Dee Dee became a second rep? Or, since he is a superhero, why not Major Glory, if that's really his name? I'm sorry, I have a bad memory, but the point is, he's a monk. I never really watched his cartoons, and even if I did, they're just not that memorable to me. Do I want him? No. He can work. But, like I said, I don't think I want him. And I don't think the world is asking for him. So for the sake of this, no.
Grim.
And
Billy and Mandy.
the three main characters of Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Grim, he can work very easily. Like, he has a scythe. He does magical powers because he is a spiritual creature from the netherworld. I don't really know what a Grim Reaper is, but the point is that he takes somebody's soul, so he became friends with two other children. And yes, I know I could be talking about separately, but I really need to make this quick and fast and easy so that way you can understand. Anyways, I really do think Grim has a higher chance of joining than Billy and Mandy. Not to say it won't happen. I mean, there's a chance, but boy, is it very likely. Again, there's a lot of Cartoon Network shows and characters that has a low chance of joining. Again, sorry about that. But I really do think Grim has the most likely chance. And as for Billy and Mandy, well, they're lower, but I really do think that if they're ever going to join, they better be separated. I know they were a duo in the first game, like in Cartoon Network Punch on Explosion, but if you look at the video game version of The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Grim, Billy, and Mandy are separate characters. And I think I like the idea of having both Billy and Mandy being as separate characters because, in theory, wouldn't it make a whole lot of sense? I mean, they can, like for Billy and Mandy, you can just punch and kick. Well, Billy can just use his knot for his attacks, and Mandy, I don't know. Does she use a whip? I know I saw it in the Flash game, but is there anything else that she can do? But in all seriousness, these three characters would be very interesting to see. Actually, how would they translate them from a 2D format into 3D? Sure, they worked in Cartoon Network Punch and Explosion, but some of them, mostly Billy, just don't work. Do I want him to join? Absolutely. I can't wait if one day it might happen. So, yeah. I've already mentioned Samurai Jack, but I want to dive in a little more detail. Like, take a look at his model. Look at it. It's so good. Now, take a look at the model from PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale. Oops, I'm at Cartoon Network Punch and Explosion. Take a look at this model from... Take a look at this. Look at it. It looks so odd looking. Well, this is mostly because his model is based on this artwork right here. Straight to the point. And if you just look at it, it looks very off looking. Like, look at his face. Like, look at it. Do you not see it? Back his new set in multiverses. So far, we only know a few ones, but so far, his moveset is way better than the ones from Cartoon Network Punch and Explosion, simply because, well, his moveset is more unique instead of being a clone of Marth. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, I love this version. And I cannot think any reason why he shouldn't join, because honestly, he rightfully deserves to join this battle. Next up is our WTF character.
Yup.
Your powers
Yes.
combined. I am Captain Planet. Captain Planet. He's a hero. Gonna take me down to zero.
Ah, yes, Captain Planet. The superhero that wants to protect the environment, because the environment is literally dying right now. Seriously, save this planet or else this planet will fall. But on the same topic of Captain Planet, this is by far one of those characters that I say, can you believe that Captain Planet is in this game? Yeah, he's really one of those characters that you don't think that he will join, but he actually joined. And do I think he would join multiverses? Well, since he is a WTF character in Punch Time Explosion, to that I say, why not? Let him join multiverses and see what happens. See what happens. And believe me, if Captain Planet works in Punch Time Explosion as, can you believe this guy is in here? Then maybe, just maybe, he would also work in multiverses as well. Just like Banana Guard.
Johnny Bravo.
I may be skipping ahead some characters, but don't worry, we'll get to them in the form of a speed round. But yeah, with Johnny Bravo, this is really one of those characters that did not age well due to, I don't know, was it the Me Too movement or something like that? I don't know, but seriously, why not bring this show back? Like, seriously. Seriously, you can still bring him back, but if you're going to bring him back, make sure you always bring a disclaimer to say the stuff, what he does is not okay. So really, please keep this in mind, that whenever you do rewatch a show, know that whenever he does that, he always tend to get punished by it. So keep that in mind. And what can I say about him? I think he should join. He was one of those characters that have been leaked, but you know what? I want him to join. I think Johnny Bravo should join. He is one of the more underrated cartoons from Cartoon Network, I think. Not really, I don't know. But the point is, I really do think he must join, so I'll be very happy that he did. Will it ever happen? Only time can tell. But I hope someday, that we can have Johnny Bravo. Ain't that right, females? Alright, I'm gonna speed through most of the other characters and talk about the ones that didn't join. Past and present, I think. Anyways, Father from Coding Kid Next Door. Might work, but again, he might be better suited as a boss character and whatnot. Vilgax. Make him a boss character. I mean, he can work as a fighter, but let's say the characters from other ones. Mojo Jojo. Isn't he a stage hazard from Townsville? I think he is. Yeah. There's a chance that he might join, just he's a stage hazard. Only time can tell. Kevin 11. Yeah. Until Ben 10 joins, there's no way that Kevin 11 will ever join, unless some out of pure dumb luck. Him. He works as a boss character in Cartoon Network Punch-Out Explosion and works as a final boss from the arcade mode. So yeah, why not add him as a boss? As a playable fighter? I don't think that's likely. He can work, but let others join in. We already mentioned young Ben from normal Ben, so let's not talk about him. Scotsman's from Samurai Jack. Well, Jack already joined, so maybe time can tell. And if we're gonna have another Samurai Jack character would join, that'll be Aku. And speaking of which, Aku, he can work, but he might work too well as a boss than a playable fighter. It's my opinion whatsoever. He can work, but in my opinion, works better as a boss. But you say, but Raid only joined Smash! Screw that space pirate. Delgado. Looks pretty cool, but very, very low chance. He might work as a stage hazard or assist if multiverses ever included assist characters, but yeah. And finally, the Toilet Kneader. This is a big no, and that's it, just big no. He's basically the Banana Guard, but just worse. And that's all the characters. I know I've speeded most of them, but this video is getting way too long. But I will mention some other characters who didn't join. Starting with... yes, the Eds. Out of all the Cartoon Network characters, they did not join Cartoon Network Punch-Time Explosion, which I think is a missed opportunity. It would have been fun to actually see them fight against each other. Since Multiverses is still happening right now, if they would ever join Multiverses, this will be the ultimate salt in the wound of Cartoon Network Punch-Time Explosion. Wow, that is a mouthful. I should have just said Punch-Time Explosions the entire time. Anyways, like the Powerpuff Girls, I think they should be a 3-in-1 characters. Sure, they could be separated characters, but I think a 3-in-1 would just fit perfectly. Plus, it'll save up a roster spot. If the Powerpuff Girls is girl superhero, then these are just regular wacky boys. And I think, yeah, I really do think that these guys should join Multiverses. And in my opinion, it works. And do I think they should join? Yeah, they really should. Can they work as separate fighters? They can. But being in one group just fits them better. So, yeah. I really do think they really should join Multiverses. And hey, since Jack joined, why not them? Another character who missed out the boat from Punch-Time Explosion is... Courage the Cowardly Dog. This is the also cartoon that didn't join Punch-Time Explosion with the Eds. And can he works? Well, he may be a coward, but there are some times where he's been shown to be brave. And yeah, it's not likely to see him join, but I actually don't mind him actually joining Multiverses. How will he fight? I actually haven't seen the entirety of the show. Maybe you could throw foods from the Bigfoot episode you're seeing by this picture here, but outside of that, I really do think that Courage should join, which is also should be a spit in face of Punch-Time Explosion. Okay, I have 4 more cartoons that didn't join. Two that came before Punch-Time Explosion, the other 2 that came afterwards. Only one of them did.
There were two scouts who made a friend, and Laszlo was his name. L-A-Z-L-O.
L-A-Z-O-O.
L-A-Z-L-O. And Laszlo was his timer.
This show was created by Joe Murray, who also is a creator of Rocko's Modern Life. And do I think should Laszlo join? Very unlikely, but since he is a camper, I really do see like a potential of having a character from a camp would be a playable fighter. I know Summer Camp Island exists, but I want to focus on this instead. Should Laszlo be the only fighter? I think he should tag along with Raj and Clam, the elephant and rhinoceros respectfully, but for sake of simplicity, we're only just gonna focus on Laszlo and him only. Can he work? I think he can. Would I like to see him? I don't mind him. I think having him join multiverses would be like, hey, remember this show? Yeah, good times. Good times. Going with one obscure show to the other, it's Jennifer Lee. Now it went to some uncharted territory, whatever that's called. Jennifer Lee, she fights monsters, according to the theme song. Like, have you ever listened to the theme song? That song is a banger. I mean, it's so catchy. Anyways, I really do think that Jennifer Lee is another WTF character. Do I think that she could work in multiverses? Yeah. Is it likely that she could join? Not likely. But if she ever does join, I'm more than happy for the people who would love this show. I'm very happy that this show gained more representation than it gets right now. Like, it's really underrated, and more people should talk about this show. And if Jennifer Lee ever joined multiverses, I'm gonna let you know that I called it out. Alright, time for the last two shows on the list. Well, last two characters from two shows. First up for the 2010s, it's
Mordecai and Rigby.
when it comes with Mordecai and Rigby, they always tend to put them both as a duo fighter, which honestly, in my opinion, it would work better if both Mordecai and Rigby were separate characters, and most people tend to focus on Mordecai instead of Rigby. Well, it does make sense. Mordecai is the main character, but what about Rigby? Shouldn't Rigby tag along? Finn and Jake are a duo, and they're separated. Rick and Morty are a duo, and they're also separated. So why not Mordecai and Rigby? Because I heard that there's a chance that Mordecai could be coming. If that does happen, I want Rigby to join with him as well. They're a duo, and I'm more than happy to say, if they ever do join, this would make my day extra happier. They would do a lot of video game references. I think they also they could do some moves from Street Fighter, since they play a lot of video games, or do a lot of beat 'em ups like Streets of Rage, for example. These two are the other most wanted picks. They really should join. Alright, last show. Huh? You're not the show that I had in mind. I was actually thinking about something else. But since you are underrated, and I do like the moveset potential, I think it's worth mentioning. And don't worry, this is not the last one. This actually popped up at the last minute, so I had to include it. Rex, Generator Rex, is a type of person that can turn his whole body into like a machine, because the nanobots inside of him, he can actually control it and use them in its own will. In fact, I think more people should watch his show since it's very underrated. And when I say underrated, I say really underrated. I think Rex should join multiverses since he has a good moveset potential. If Ben 10 can't work, then Rex should be the next best thing. Granted, he isn't the most popular one because he's very obscure, but it's worth mentioning to include Rex into multiverses. And before I go to the actual last one, I have to mention Adventure Time. We already know Finn, Jake, and surprisingly Banana Guard has joined multiverses for obvious reasons. Because, well, Adventure Time is still popular, and I do think a lot of people are still watching it. But if Adventure Time ever do get more reps, it would be Marceline, the Vampire Queen, the Ice King, Princess Bubblegum, and the Fire Princess. The last one is in my opinion. All four of them can work as fighters. Easy go, easy win. And Finn is still good in my eyes, good choice. Jake, a good runner-up. Banana Guard, he's a big surprise. Like, seriously, he's like Piranha Plant, but done right. Plus, he's a spear user. We never had that in a platform fighter before, now have we? I'm not counting you, Super Smash Flash. Yeah, I really do hope Adventure Time do get some more representations. Now to the final show on the list. Ah, yes, the Water Fins, namely Gumball and Darwin, and yes, Anais is in the picture too. But seriously, if you own one of the Gumball mobile games on iPhone, you can play as both Gumball, Darwin, and Anais respectively. So, out of all the three kids, Gumball seems to be the most likely of them all. Do I want all three of them? Of course I do. I'm a Cartoon Network fan. Well, I mostly pay attention to Cartoon Network because, well, it's aimed towards everyone, and I'm one of those audiences. And I personally do think that they should join. How will they fight? Well, if you watch the words, you can see that both Gumball and Darwin, they do this Hadouken-like attack, and that can work as a reference to Street Fighter. In fact, most of their movesets should be references to other video games, because, well, it's basically like the Amazing World of Gumball. They do a lot of references to other video games, and I really do think they should join. Is it likely? Again, like the others, absolutely not. They're not likely to join, but if they do join, that will be a dream come true. And, wait, what was that? What do you mean I'm not done? What do you mean I'm not? I only have one more show left. What is that final show? Alright, there is a lot of Cartoon Network shows out there. I can't cover all of them. So for to make the simplicity, this will be the last show I'll be mentioning right now. For the Teen Titans, the 2003 original, trust me, we'll talk about Go in another video, if that ever happens. The original Teen Titans is a superhero team run by Robin, now called Nightwing. Am I correct? I think that's correct. Anywho, like Kid Next Door, there is a lot of team members. You have the leader, you have the beatboxer, the chill dude that is also a vegetarian, the princess from another dimension, and the queen and the daughter of the underworld. And all of them are superheroes. What I heard that Raven will be joining multiverses, and if that ever does come to fruition, I really do hope that she isn't the only one. There might be a rumor that Robin might be joining, but take that as a grain of salt. Like the Kid Next Door, I would love to have all of them join multiverses. But I have to choose one member from Teen Titans Go. Have to join multiverses it would be Robin, and that's it. Though Raven had been leaked, so maybe she could join as well. But for the sake of this, it would just be Robin and name only. Though I would like to see all the other ones. Again, like with the kid next door, I would like to see every single Teen Titans in multiverses. If you had to pick one, it would be Robin and name only. That's it, nothing more, end of story. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I'd like to see all of them, but if to choose one, Raven and Robin would be the most likely two picks. And that's all the characters from Punch Time Explosion that I could have mentioned who could join multiverses, minus Jack himself. Again, with some other bonus shows. Again, there is a lot, and I repeat, a lot of shows of Cartoon Network that I could mention. But this video is already long. It's roughly about 40 minutes. The longest video I have ever made by far. For sake of simplicity, I already mentioned the ones that were in Punch Time Explosion and some other ones that didn't join, but it's worth mentioning. And yet again, already Samurai Jack has joined multiverses. So if any of these Cartoon Network characters that's in Punch Time Explosion could ever join with Jack, is welcome, along with the other ones that I've mentioned. And boy, is this really long. If you really, really love this video so much, why not consider subscribing? This would really help me a lot, especially how much I have, what went to the making of this video. Seriously, it's about 40 minutes long, and having more subscribers for this video would actually help me a lot. Again, love this, like, comment, and subscribe. So I'll see you next time. Farewell.